picture of a yarmulke with a cross over it. Like, no.
There is actually a little symbol to tell you if it's kosher or not. It's like a U.
Oh.
It's like an outline U with a little circle around it, and that tells you that it's kosher. Yeah. Back to the brioche buns. Slamma jamma, dude. Super good. I love it. Brioche may be my favorite form of bread. I was asking JC this. Is there a form of bread that you don't like?
I don't like everything bagels. Does that count?
Dude, everything bagels are complete garbage. Complete trash, dude. Honestly, though, garbo tier food.
I agree. Like, we'll go to Dunkin' Donuts and I get a plain bagel with cream cheese, and sometimes you go and the only ones they have left over are everything, and I'd rather just not eat anything.
Yeah, listen. Here's why they always have everything bagels. No one likes them.
It's true.
Straight
point.
The only person I know who likes them is JC, and that's because
likes
JC
everything.
likes everything. The man will eat pretty much any food and say it's good. I've seen him eat food he tells me he does not like and finish the plate of it. That's how committed JC is to eating food.
He's like the most polite guest everywhere. Like, you can offer him anything and he'll love it.
He'll love it. JC, no, here's the thing. He bought that. Do you remember in the cellar of the Student Union, there was the little burger place?
Mm-hmm.
One day, or for like their flavor of the month or whatever, was like a cactus flavored chicken. Like, they use cactus fruit to flavor the chicken.
Yeah.
He hated it. He ordered it one time. I'm not kidding when I tell you that JC told me repeatedly while eating it, this is the worst thing he's eaten. And then proceed to clean his plate.
Yeah.
Homeboy is on a different level. He's on a different planet. That's how far off level he is from me. I'm like, ew, yucky, tomato. He's like, he's like, I'll eat this thing even though I hate it. Like, what?
Yeah. He's like, it's like the Virgin versus Chad meme. He's like, I'll eat literally anything.
He's the Chad, dude.
Yeah,
he is the Chad.
Which makes it hard.
Bread. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, rye bread's great. Like what's the sandwich? A Reuben. Well, I guess you can't eat a Reuben.
I've never had a Reuben.
Okay, but if you could eat a Reuben, Reubens are pretty great. Like on isn't rye like a form of sourdough, or is there sourdough rye? Is there like a different thing?
I don't know.
It's rye. Like what?
Rye is a different form of wheat, rye wheat, as opposed to wheat.
Yeah, and there's like a spiral kind, and there's like regular kind. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I just know rye.
I just know rye bread, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
But,
But.
what were you gonna say about? You were gonna say something before I asked about rye.
Oh, it's really hard to know when JC genuinely does like something.
This is
because he likes everything.
Sometimes it's hard to tell if JC is genuine about what he's saying. Just make stuff up sometimes.
Yeah, like he's told me I'm funny several times, and now like whenever I think about it, I realize he never meant any of them. Like you're really funny.
Oh my god. The way he says it is it's impossible to tell whether he's being sarcastic or not. I love it.
You can't read that man.
No,
he'll be mysterious forever.
He is a book written in invisible ink. All right, it's he really is on a different level.
Yeah, he is. That's why he's great.
He is. All right, you ready to start this thing?
I'm ready.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 37 of Patch Notes, the Home Games podcast. I'm Yazeed, and this is Joseph.
Hello, I am Joseph, the date master, once again bringing you the date. It's July 7th, 2020. We're here. It's a Tuesday. Welcome.
Yes. How's it going?
It's Tuesday, what? Right? It's Tuesday?
It should.
I think it's Tuesday.
It's definitely not Monday. It's Tuesday.
No, it's Tuesday.
It's definitely not Monday. I knew that. I was like, it's not Monday.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
How's it going? Is that what you asked me?
Yeah, how's it going? What's up? What's happening?
It's going well. This week I have been doing a lot of house things again. It's one of those things where I realize this will never end. It's what everybody told me. It's like, oh, you're going to have this constant growing list of things that get shuffled around and reprioritized, and you'll forget about things, and blah, blah, blah. I think I mentioned this last week. but like it just keeps going. I have a whiteboard that I need to get into this room, but I don't have a way to get it into a vehicle. So it's like, do I rent a U-Haul truck for a whiteboard that I just need to like?
How big is this whiteboard?
It's 4 feet by 4 feet, and it just barely doesn't fit in any of my family's vehicles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty large. So that, and then I have a couch coming, so I've been sitting on the floor still every time I'm watching TV. So I basically am in this desk the entire day because I have nothing else to like sit on. I'm making a lot of lattes. Been very exciting for me. Got my espresso machine, so I'm just cranking out espresso probably too many times per day. It's pretty fun. Yeah, I don't know, just kind of chilling around the house. Still can't leave. Still living in Arizona, so really shouldn't do anything. Really can't do anything. Really just hanging out inside.
Yeah. One day you're gonna have a whole list of things to do, and you'll be doing that list, and then you'll hear a beep, and you'll pause. You'll be like, "What was that?" And then it'll beep again. You'll be like, "No."
Oh, your detector?
And then it's the smoke detector. But then you got to go find which smoke detector. And then you realize you don't have the little batteries. And then you have to go to the store. But wait, it's quarantine. You shouldn't just randomly go to the store. So now you order batteries and you wait. And that's where I'm at right now.
We, when I got here the first day to set up the internet, like we hadn't moved in yet. I just needed it to be here to set up our stuff before we actually did move in. And so when I did that, like within 5 minutes of coming into the house for the first time, there were 2 of them that were beeping. So I kind of got rid of that, or got that out of the way early. Nice. But it's funny. There's a bunch of rappers that I watch like on Instagram Live or whatever. They'll just be doing videos and stuff, and in the background you hear their beepers going off. And it's like, dude, you're a millionaire. Like, you should really have someone do like swapping out the batteries of your smoke detectors for you.
It's awful. It's awful. Yeah. It happens like the least convenient times. It'll happen at like 9 p.m. at night, and you're just like, like, hope I can close the door, whatever that is, so I can go to sleep.
Yeah, there was that one summer that Alex went and stayed in that house in Phoenix for like 4 months. Remember, for that internship or whatever. And every time we talked to him on Skype or whatever we were talking on, it was always going off in the back, and he would talk to us for like hours a day, and it was constantly going off. And it was him and like 3 other dudes in that house, and they just let the thing go all summer. They never changed it.
No, so they didn't have a ladder tall enough to change it. Apparently that house had like insane high ceilings, and they literally could not change it.
That's funny. That's kind of funny. Okay, but I guess it's not really their fault, but still, it kind of definitely is.
I told them they can literally rent a ladder from places. Yeah. Like, you can rent equipment, and I was like, you can rent a ladder and do it. Then Alan was like, nah, and that was the end of that.
Yeah. I mean, I would also say nah, because it's like, this is not my house. I don't care. But yeah. Anyway, what's up with you?
So Zach convinced me to learn. Zach's one of our friends. He convinced me to learn mahjong with him, which is basically Japanese. I think it's Japanese. I hope this isn't racist. Poker. It's pretty fun.
I always thought it was Chinese, but I have no idea.
Oh my god!
You're gonna have to look it up. We're both wrong.
No, Zach sent me a website that we play on, and it describes it. I'm looking. Sorry.
Another update for this week is I have notes finally on another screen, so I actually can kind of know what's going on in this show. So that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, that is actually really a nice upgrade. So the website that we use is called Mahjong Soul, and the tagline for it is a blend of cute, appealing anime girls with classical Japanese mahjong, which means that it is Japanese, or at least the version we play is Japanese. Yeah, and we're gonna ignore the other parts of that.
Cute anime girls.
Yeah,
it's fine. Cute anime girls have become such a prevalent thing, like on Twitter. You know, people just have it as their picture. It's become normalized. Be a weirdo.
Yeah, it's okay. You can like pay to different anime girls as your little like character, and they talk to you when you log in and stuff.
Yeah.
It's fine. Apparently, this is like one of the best sites to play mahjong online with, though, which is funny. But yeah.
Are you enjoying it outside of the cute anime girls? Like, is it actually fun, or are you doing it just for the social aspect?
I really like gambling.
Is it like real money gambling, or is it?
It's not real money gambling. It's
Okay.
fake money gambling, which makes it even better.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going broke. But yeah, it's pretty fun actually. It's kind of cool. It's like 13 card poker, so it's like way complicated. So yeah, it's interesting. I like it a lot.
Yeah, just like regular poker rules are overwhelming to me, so I can't imagine more intense that.
Zach makes fun of me because I only learned one way to win, and I only play to that condition. Apparently, there's like hundreds of ways to win. I don't have time for that. I learned the most simple, basic way to win, and I'm just like play the same thing every time. And I'm just trying to like iron out the details.
Yeah.
But it also it like handholds you a little bit, so like it lets you know like when you're about to win, and like when if you could do this or that. Like you don't have to like constantly be on the ball.
What do you think of like in-person casino card games? I mean, outside of the everything happening in the world, like in a regular context.
I've never played an in-person casino card game. I play roulette and slots, which are my two favorite things at the casino, which probably is unfortunate because they have the worst odds. But yes.
But why do you not play anything at the table?
I think that there's actual skill involved at the table, and I don't have the time or willingness to learn and develop those skills so that I'm good at it. I'd rather play things that are just completely random and you're probably going to lose, but on the off chance that you win, that's exciting, and I like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't do table games. They stress me out.
Yeah.
But roulette and slots, that's my thing.
Yeah, right? And also like the interaction level. When you're playing slots, you're interacting with 0 people. When you're playing roulette, the only time people interact with you is when you're killing it. Or like they're killing it. And then you give them like a nice job. Or when you're killing, they're like, hey, nice job, you're killing it. When you're playing like poker or whatever, it's like mind games. People are like, what does he have? What if I just start a casual conversation with them? And I don't like that. I want to talk to people.
But you've never played a table game, so how do you know what it's like?
No, because I worked at an event where we had we had like gambling things, like casino night, but it was not with real money. It was just for like prizes. It was like fake Monopoly money basically. And I played with some people at work who actually know what they're doing, and they basically all were like chit chatting, or most of them were chit chatting, and then like the really really serious people would just be like real stone faced. They're wearing sunglasses indoors, that kind of thing. Like, I'm just here because I'm here, man. I'm here because I'm getting bread to be here. So
Everything I know about poker, I know from Red Dead, and I don't know much about poker. Oh, didn't we also make it for one of our classes?
We made a version of Texas Hold'em,
and that's a variation on poker.
I think it's an entirely different card game, man.
Really?
I don't know.
Texas Hold'em poker, I thought it was. We have no clue. Anyway, does that conclude gambling talk for the week?
I think it has to, because we're both so not good at it.
Hey man, options trading is a form of gambling, and I'm okay at that, you know?
Here's the thing. I'm also good at gambling, all right? I've never lost money on poker. Or not poker, sorry. Just in gambling in general. So I've never lost money playing slots or roulette.
You mean like overall in a day? Or like, what do you...
I mean overall. In a day, I've definitely lost like money.
So you've definitely lost money, but in the grand running
scheme,
total...
I've only made money playing casino games.
Okay. You're like putting a big golden frame around overall I've gained more money than I've lost gambling in my life. But you're making it sound like you're some like hot shot like...
That's good. Listen, if you think about statistically, me winning money in the long run is more important than me winning money in the short run.
No. You're right. It's just...
Yeah. That means I'm good. On average, I win money. Not a lot, but I win money. That's the good stuff. I love gambling so much. Talking about this makes me want to gamble, and that's a problem.
All right, maybe we should stop talking about gambling.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, yeah, so mahjong. Is that how you say it? I've also heard mahjong, but I have no clue.
Listen, I will never call it mahjong. Zach calls it mahjong, so I just also call it that. I don't know what the actual pronunciation is.
The man I heard saying mahjong was British, so maybe he wasn't saying it right.
Maybe that's how you actually pronounce it, and we've been wrong. There's a lot of things like that, but I don't know. It's fun. It's interesting, and it's like super different than regular cards and like American cards. It's like a mix of like dominoes and cards, which is kind of fun.
Interesting. I'll never play it.
And maybe Bananagram, just a little bit.
What is Bananagram?
Bananagram is when you get a bunch of letters and you gotta make a word out of that letters.
Out of that letters.
Out of that set of letters, yes. I know. I said wrong stuff.
I said wrong. Did you do anything for 4th of July?
My mom and grandma came over, and we cooked dinner at my house for the first time. And it was pretty cool.
Were your neighbors shooting fireworks or anything? Because they shut down the ones at the mountain.
Oh, somebody in my neighborhood was. I was actually kind of worried because it was my first 4th of July and actually like first fireworks thing with Sapphire. And I wasn't sure how she was gonna handle it. Whoever was shooting fireworks was like either really small or really far away because like we could barely hear it in the house, and she passed out, so it was okay.
Nice.
That was like my big concern. I was actually kind of worried because she doesn't do real well with loud noises, so I was kind of worried. So she was good. That was good.
Pepper freaked out too. She came in because we thought she was okay because people would do fireworks and it was kind of far and they were kind of far apart. You know, it would be like one and then another 20 minutes later, another one. Mm-hmm. But then around like 8:30, it started going kind of nuts, and so she started freaking out real bad. But we bought this like variety pack of fireworks stuff from Walmart because I've never bought fireworks like ever before, and they're all just sparklers and stuff. Nothing actually really exploded, but we set all that stuff off in the driveway, and there were other neighbors on the street doing the same thing. So it was like me and a bunch of little kids like setting off sparklers.
Nice.
It was pretty fun. And then I made burgers and veggies on my grill, so I felt like a true proper like America person.
Nice.
Grilling, setting off fireworks. I was wearing a very patriotic T-shirt, so I was feeling the vibes. Drinking a Budweiser, of course.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was great.
No PBR.
No, I had to go full on Bud heavy for 4th of July.
Nice. That sounds like a pretty good 4th of July.
Yeah, it was great. I'm getting better at the grill. I made burgers again today for dinner, which didn't come out. Or sorry, I made hot dogs because we had burger meat, but it was like not good. So anyway, getting better at grilling. So that'll be fun.
Is it a charcoal grill or a gas grill?
It's a charcoal grill. I was gonna get a gas grill, and then I decided I'm afraid of gas, so I don't want a gas grill. There's one particular scene in Final Destination where at the very end of the movie, this dude is grilling for his family, and then the gas grill like blows up, and then his arm like gets launched into the air and then lands on his mom's plate, and she's like, "Wah!" And then it's over, and it's like a horrible scene. And I imagine anytime I use a gas grill, it'll probably happen to me. So charcoal is easier. There's also something very cool and primitive feeling about just cooking with fire. Like, just cooking on fire.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Is your house, do you have like an electric range, or is it a...
We don't have any gas. We have a fire pit in the backyard that has a gas thing connected to it. That's the only gas we have in the whole house.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I have to say I like gas more because it's faster. And also, starting a fire sounds complicated, and I don't have the brain for that.
We have this thing called the Eggnighter because it's a big green egg is the brand of the grill.
Oh my god, I like it already.
It's
Continue.
All of their side like add-ons are called Egg-accessories. This is not sponsored or anything. I know we're like super hyped on this. You could tell that Yazeed's super hyped on this, but just this, no one has ever paid us for anything. So big green egg, Egg-accessories, and they have one called the Eggnighter. And one of them is butane, so you have to keep getting the fuel to refill it. The other one is electric. That's the one that I have. It just shoots hot air out of the front. And so you basically just need to leave that on a coal for like a minute or so, and then it starts to seep the heat through, and then you turn it to like fan mode and spread the heat throughout, and then it eventually starts to fire. So it only takes a couple minutes, and there's no actual flame involved, and it's just you have to plug in this thing and use it. The only downside is that it overheats, and we're in Tucson, and it's like 105 out when I was grilling earlier, so the thing overheated way faster than it was able to actually heat up the coals. But other than that, it's like pretty easy.
Nice.
And you have to keep buying charcoal, obviously. But anyway, I'm gonna become a grilled dude. I'm trying to get really into this lifestyle. There's like also all these other accessories that you can get that you can like fit it into a little table, so you have a little prep station next to your egg, and then you have like a bunch of other different stuff. There's an entire section at the Ace Hardware, like the entire back corner of the store is just big green egg stuff. The one, the like main big Ace here has like an entire section just devoted to the big green egg. So there's a lot.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Do you go to I don't know if this is true about every Ace Hardware store in town, but one of them just sells weird novelty sodas that you can like not find anywhere else.
No, I've never. No.
Yeah, so there's an Ace not near me but near my mom, and that Ace sells like basically like craft soda, like really small batch, like basically like microbrew soda. It's like hilarious, but yeah, it's like some of it's really good. Some of it's big question mark, but some of it's really good.
That's pretty cool. I like Ace. They have this very, they all feel different. They all just feel like they're owned by some buddy who just decided to start an Ace. You know what I mean? And it's just weird.
Yeah.
Like we had to get a clapper last year because I replaced all of my like smart devices. Like no more. I had like 3 Alexa devices in the apartment, and it was just overwhelming and stupid. So I decided all I really need is something that can turn on and off the lights, because the way that the room was set up, I didn't want to keep going across the room to flip off a lamp. And so we did a clapper, just thinking, okay, like ancient technology, I'm going to go try to find a clapper. And the only place that had it in stock, like in stock on a shelf in the year 2019, was an Ace Hardware. And it was still like in the 1985 looking box or whatever. But clapper's terrible, by the way. I think it's super trash. Don't get a clapper. But they were there for me, you know? That's, I guess, what I'm saying.
Would you ever like buy an Arduino or like a Raspberry Pi and like route it all up and like hook it all up to do that for you?
To do what for me?
To like turn off lights when you clap.
I would actually, I think if I had unlimited time, I would love to do that kind of stuff, because I have an Arduino and I have a Raspberry Pi. I actually have I have 3 Raspberry Pis, and I wanted to for the longest time, actually, before I moved.
I never heard of these before.
I got 2. One of them I got like a few years ago. Then they basically like upgraded it with a better CPU, so I bought that one instead. And they made another one that was way small, and that one like it's seriously like the size of a USB stick, but the whole thing. And I was thinking, oh, it'd be really cool if I can get home games running on that thing, because if I do, then you could basically just like market it and pitch it as this really easy thing of like, here's a literal little stick that you just plug in somewhere and you're running home games on your network or whatever. But even at idle, it was like 55% CPU usage, so it was running. It just never it wouldn't work. Anyway, before I moved out to Seattle, I had this idea where I would build some sort of Arduino something button that would order me a pizza. So it would be like by the couch, and then whenever it was like the I don't care about whatever, like I'm not going to cook button, thinking I would use it sparingly and then just hit it, and then it would make some pre-configured order of a pizza, and it would just be there within some certain time limit or some estimated time or whatever. But when you start to actually work on that kind of stuff, you start to think about what else you could be working on, and then you stop working on that stuff. Yeah. Just like I also tried to make a Nike bot, like a shoe bot to go buy sneakers on Nike.com. And then I spent maybe like 20 minutes looking into how to break the security, like the CAPTCHAs and stuff on their website. And I was like, yeah, this is not something that I'm going to do.
Jeez.
Yeah. Home games.
Dang.
Work on that instead.
Yeah. I honestly don't even know how long we've been on What's Up. Should we move on, or do you still want to talk about What's Up stuff?
We can talk about What's Up stuff. Just mentioning home games is the thing I work on instead of all that stuff. I think it's a better use of side project time than a pizza button.
Oh shit. Oh no. I think my Audacity just crashed. No, we're good. We're good. Okay.
It would have been fine. I have the OBS recording everything that you're saying too.
That is true, but man, would that suck?
It's happened before.
It has happened before. That one just sucked because you had to like. Anyway, I probably talked about it before, but anyway, because one of the things I wanted to talk about on WhatsApp was YouTubers. So there's a YouTuber that I recently started watching, and he just learns a new skill, however long it takes to learn that skill, and that man is incredibly dedicated. He worked on doing 5 muscle ups for 100 days. It took him 100 days to be able to do 5 muscle ups.
What's a muscle up?
A muscle up is when you pull yourself up and then you flip over the bar and then you basically do a dip and then you go back down and then you pull yourself up, over, dip, and then back down. And you do that 5 times.
Yeah, no.
It's very impressive.
It is impressive.
He's super committed to it, and I wish I had that level of commitment.
You kind of do. I mean, you've been doing this every week for a while. Almost every week.
That's true. You know, JC told me the same thing. He told me you are committed, but just towards different things. And I was like, maybe you're right. Maybe I should start a YouTube channel. Because the other thing I want to talk about too is cooking YouTubers. And I wanted to talk about this last week, but I started watching cooking YouTubers and it made me want to be a better cook. So I've been working on cooking more and just being better at cooking food.
Any particular channels?
Yeah, so binging with Babish. Binging with Babish? Babish. Yeah, okay. Clearly I can read. And the other one's Joshua Weissman.
I don't know if I've heard that.
He's more like... He is more jokey, and he definitely makes jokes. Like, he definitely uses, like, thick with 3 C's joke and stuff like that. And he's funny. Yeah. But, he seems to be quite good at his job, and I learned quite a bit from watching him. Have
you tried any new recipes or anything like that? Or, like, what have you changed as a result of the cooking stuff?
I hold my knife.
Oh yeah, it's like over it, right? You have to, like...
Yeah, you don't hold the handle, which makes me question why there's a handle. But yeah, you like grip the base of the knife, you pinch, and then you cut. Yeah,
with like your whole body weight at the top center, like.
Yeah, and then the claw, like how you like put your hand down on it and then you cut against it. You don't just like grip and then just go for it. Yeah. It's like stuff like that. Like I'm starting with the basics, like how to grip a knife, how to saute, how to like do the little flippy thing where you like push forward and then you pop back so that it doesn't fly all over you.
Right.
Because that would suck. Yeah. Like that kind of stuff. I'm learning that quite right now, but I haven't tried any of their recipes, mostly because I don't have their ingredients, because I don't have a very large base of ingredients, as we've talked about on the show before.
It's true. What's kind of like top of your list? Like, oh, I want to try that.
That's a good question. He makes a steak, and I like steak, and so I'll try to make a steak.
What kind of steak? He does. Like a New York strip, like a ribeye, like a...
I don't know steak terminology, so I don't know what kind of steak. But the way he cooks his steak seems interesting, and I would like to do that as well. Also, he does a pan-sear on fish with the skin on, and I normally don't do it, but he seemed to really like it, because I don't like fish skin. It's too slippery. It's like gloopy goop. But when he cooked it, he was like, and the skin's so crispy, and so I want to try it and see if I can get the skin to be crispy.
Nice.
Yeah, the other thing I'm working on is my willingness to work with hot oil, because I'm very afraid of burning myself again. So, yeah.
What? I don't know. How hot are we talking? How hot is this oil?
350 and up.
Okay. Yeah. I just know for steaks you want a oil with a high smoke point, because if the smoke point is high,
smoke, you could, like, olive oil is not good for that. Oh, actually, I did make something that he made. So basically, I sous vide a steak and then I cooked it in butter. I didn't have all the stuff heated, but you like sous vide the steak and then you fry it you don't like fry it, but like you put it in with butter.
Baste it.
Like, yeah, and you baste it. So I had to learn how to baste properly. So I had to like do all of that. It was kind of cool. It was neat.
Yeah.
I learned quite a bit from doing that.
Yeah, I do that too, but I don't do the thyme. They always put twigs of thyme on it too. I don't like that. I ain't got time for that.
I also don't have time. I also put paprika on there, and I don't like steak with paprika on it, is what I learned.
No. Yeah, that doesn't sound...
Well, he used garlic, and I don't own garlic. And I was in my head like, what's really close to garlic? Paprika. and
It's
that is
not.
not the
It's
correct
not
answer.
true.
It's no. And the other thing is I used 2 tablespoons of butter. Or no. I think I used 4 tablespoons of butter for like a 1 pound steak.
That's too much butter.
It was too much butter. My whole body felt
butter.
like butter. Yeah, my whole body felt like butter for a little bit afterwards. But that steak was so rich. It was so good.
If you want to watch steak, like a real steak focused channel, I might have mentioned this to you before, but Guga Foods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you should watch his stuff.
Well, I want to learn to cook more than just steak.
No, I know, but like
But yeah.
high quality video, like crazy 1080p high definition, slow mo, charred steaks flopping onto a table or something. It's like everything I need.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's
highly
awesome.
recommend it.
I like that. I like Josh Wiesman because he makes like a random assortment of stuff, and then he also makes like he has a but better series where he takes like a fast food item, but then he makes it but better. And one of the ones he made was a honey biscuit chicken thingy from I think KFC or something.
Mm-hmm.
That looked interesting. I might try that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Cooking stuff sounds fun. I would like to work more with quarantine continuing. I think that's my next skill to learn is cooking.
You should get garlic. That seems like a pretty useful thing to have.
I purchased garlic. I own garlic currently, so
Proud of
now
you.
I can make more items,
Which
I'm very excited for.
Yeah, I didn't like to cook. I mean, I like to cook kind of, but I don't like actually doing it. In an actual kitchen and stuff. But the grill has made me, like, basically, if I'm not in the mood to cook anything, if you ask me to just put something on the grill, I'm like way into it. Because the act of setting the fire and then just being out there with the grill to like have the time to just hang out in the yard and then basically have an excuse to just do nothing because you're grilling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like I love that. So I'm also getting into cooking more.
Yeah. Have you ever sat around like a campfire?
Yeah, like I've been camping. We had fires.
God, it's so relaxing.
Yeah.
It's like a different level of like comfort when you have like a nice fire and you can just be like, and then like the snap crackle pop of the stuff in the fire. Ooh.
That's helpful, but I think the actual best relaxing part, like why camping is so relaxing, and I haven't been camping in like 15 years, but it's because you don't have a connection to the world. Like, if I go camping, I lose phone service, and that is ultimate freedom because I have no ability to like connect to the outside world. I can't check my email, you know? And when I can't do it, it's like all I can do is relax. Like, I guess I'll just breathe and soak in the environment and like think and be present mentally. Darn. You know?
When quarantine ends, we should go camping because I've never been camping before.
Camping's awesome, but I haven't been camping in so long. I was maybe like 10 to 12 last time I went camping, so it's been a while. But
A bunch of 26-year-olds going camping, one of them for the first time in their life, or 27-years-olds, depending on how long this lasts. Just saying.
When I get the Cybertruck, we'll go camping. I'll have the whole setup.
Yeah, because the other thing I wanted to ask you is actually, so there's this channel called Sherpa something. Anyway, sorry. There's a couple of channels where it's basically just like a person interacting with their dog, and then they ask their dog a question, and their dog's very vocal, so it just makes noises.
Mm-hmm.
And I put that on a couple nights ago on my TV, so Sapphire heard it, and she literally dropped everything that she was doing, just looked at the TV like,
Yeah.
hello, dog. And I was gonna ask you if you've ever done that with Pepper or a different dog, like put on a YouTube channel of dogs doing their thing.
No, we've never shown dogs like movies or shows because they mostly have lived outside, and when they come in, they don't hang out for a long time. But I don't know if you remember, there was one cable network or one provider or something, like maybe 5-10 years ago, or maybe longer, I don't know. They had a channel called Dog TV, which was essentially just like weirdo acid trip type content for your dogs to watch while you were at work or something.
What?
Yeah, it was like weird colors and dogs, like just dog subliminal messaging or something, but just constantly on the TV for your dogs to just zone out to. Or if you're like super high, you just watch Dog TV.
I've never even heard of this. What?
Yeah, I don't think it's around anymore, but it's like the same idea. It's like just dog content, something that your dog can at least like in some way engage with in a way that it probably can with like New Girl.
Yeah, it was very interesting because the moment I put it on, she was just like, oh, I was just watching whatever, because it was like a human talking to their dog, and the moment the dog started to like vocalize back to the human, she literally just like stopped and stared at the TV, and it was like hyper focused in. I was like, a little bit of part of me was like, is she gonna try to attack the TV, or does she realize like that's not a real dog? Like,
Yeah.
At what point do dogs know that it's not real what I'm watching? I don't know. I assume they do.
I have no clue. Sometimes I think that Pepper thinks, and then I'll throw a ball and she'll run into a pot on her way to go get it. And I'm just like, oh, you don't think. You just care about this ball. That's like... yeah.
Sapphire fell off the sidewalk the other day. That really cracked me up. She was looking behind her and walking forward, and just straight up fell off the side of the sidewalk onto the street. And I was just like, oh, that could have been so bad.
That's something that you would do. So maybe she's taking after her owner.
She really is too similar to me.
Yeah.
She's like shy around people she doesn't know. She's very quiet, and then, I don't know, she's funny.
Well, you are a clumsy doof, so, you know, if she does that more, maybe it's because it's wearing off on her.
What's funny is that I am a clumsy doof, and yet I'm like, oh, I'll just go alone into the wilderness for days, like for hours at a time, with no recourse if something goes wrong. And it's never turned out wrong, and I think she's similar to that, because she's kind of a doof, but she's also like, don't worry, Chief, I'll kill every rabbit we come across, and she'll try, but I don't think she'll ever find it. She's ran into like 7 cactuses already since I've had her. I've had her for like 4 months.
Yeah.
I've had to pull more thorns out of her than I've ever had to pull out of myself. It's incredible.
Speaking of cacti, cactuses, cactus, whatever, we got a bunch of plants. We went to Lowe's, and we're setting up a whole like plant thing. So Synovia has like 8 plants, just kind of set up in the middle of our house at the moment. We're planning on putting them somewhere else, but we're trying to become plant people. So that's also very exciting.
Are we talking like aesthetic plants, or are we talking like functional plants? Like, you growing apples, or are we talking like this one has pretty flowers? I know you have like actual trees, but are you adding more trees or no?
Well, we have fruit trees. We have space to put these things out there next to them, and we don't know what we're going to do with these, but the things that we have currently are mostly aesthetic plants. Eventually I want to start growing spices and vegetables, but I think I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but we just have like a cactus and a big like floppy leaf thing and some other stuff that's green and seems cool, you know.
Nice.
I don't know.
Would you ever grow the little like micro spice garden in your kitchen?
I think that's what we're planning on doing with like a bunch of little pots, and we can just have I think that's what we're planning on doing.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's commitment to the cause right there. That's too much pressure
To keep it all alive.
I have 3 plants, and all of them are like, I specifically got them because they're incredibly hard to kill. Yeah. Like, you could just not water them for way too long, and they'll be like, oh, I'm dying. And then when you put water in them, they're like, just kidding. I'm good to go.
It's a dramatic plant. I think I've embraced this is the world, you know? Like, I'm gonna stay in this house for a long time in the future. Like, I'm gonna be here a while. So I'm embracing hats. This is a hat that I've had for a while, but decided to start wearing it. I'm trying to become a hat guy, so I'm like shopping for hats in my free time now, because I'm realizing that I'm probably gonna shave my head several more times because I'm gonna be at home a lot, not getting haircuts, so I'm probably gonna need more hats. And then I'm trying to be like, well, the grocery stores, man, what if I remember how we talked about like me being a prepper before all this stuff happened? It's just really reaffirmed my whole thing that I really need to become a prepper. So this
What's funny is that you were right about that.
I'm never wrong. Yeah, we were talking about preppers like in February, so it's kind of funny, the whole thing. I also said at the first episode that if the world ever really got bad to the point where I had to like fight for something, I would just like end it all. Don't know if I still think that, because we're kind of at that point, and I don't feel like that anyway. Um, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. It's just the world, prepper, growing your own food, all that kind of stuff.
You have 2 more things on your WhatsApp. Do you want to touch on those?
No, we should just keep it going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready to move on to home games then?
Home game stuff.
Aw, yeah. So on my side of things, I resumed work on the Who Tweeted That Tweet game. Basically, right now, it pops up with options for players and their Twitter handles, so that you can pick. It doesn't do anything yet, but it'll do something at some point. I just got that far. And then I also read a couple articles, and I sent you one that I think may solve our SSL problem.
Yeah, it's kind of like the other one where it just requires some fancy certificate generation and whitelisting that stuff in your system settings somewhere. I still don't think there's, besides the Plex solution article talking about how they generally solved it, the whole like user clicks button and they have running SSL stuff without having to add a custom cert path or whatever in their OS. I haven't seen that yet. So yeah, it's one of those like it could work. It's just not super seamless type things.
Yeah. One of the ones that I did see was that you can do it using Docker.
Yeah.
So we may want to look into Alex's old Docker stuff and maybe going from there. I don't know 100% whether it would work or not, but some of the articles were talking about that using Docker can make that easier. Because Docker is like a real machine hosting the site. Well,
it's not. Yeah, it's not real.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's a virtual real machine.
It's not even virtual. It's
like a made up real machine.
Yeah, I don't know how Docker
Imaginary.
works, but it's not virtualized and it's not.
I think it's like just the kernel that's running,
I have
or
no
something
clue.
like this.
I have no idea. All I know is that it doesn't work if you don't have Windows 10 Pro because you don't have some hypervisor or something enabled or whatever. So Docker needs some fancy something on an OS level. I have no clue. I'm not a computer guy, but yeah, SSL stuff continues to be a pain, and there continue to be articles about them or about setting it up, and I still have no clue how we're going to do it in a way that doesn't require someone to click around. Basically, like open up an admin thing and put in a password and say, yeah, this is okay. I have to like trust these dudes that they're not doing anything weird. And the second that you do that, you kind of there's like it's a giant hurdle for someone to get over, for us to be like, hey, just trust us. We're not weird. Like, prove it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. Like, I don't know. It's just it's a big ask of people to be like, yeah, just we're this certificate authority. We generated this thing. Just go ahead and add this to this thing in your Mac certificate keychain that you need to have your like super password for. It's like, I don't know. You know, if I'm trying to learn programming, maybe I'm not super into the idea of that at the start. So
Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, I'm just learning the basics, and then we're like, hell, do we have some advanced stuff for you to get through before you can start?
yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't like any of that stuff. My whole thing is just kind of in general, I think we should keep all that stuff as automated as possible. But we also have no resources to pay for services or pay for tools or pay for fancy things that we might need. So it's kind of in this weird situation, you know, but yeah, SSL stuff and then Twitter stuff. So you don't need SSL at all to do your Twitter game, right?
No, I mean the part that talks to the Twitter, the Twitter that talks to the Twitter is all done on the server, which is just making HTTPS requests. That's all good.
Right.
It's not a blocker for me. It's just like we've talked about. It seems like we are going to need SSL stuff. So I think I'm going to continue to find articles, at least one a week, and see if I can eventually find the article that's helpful for us, or most helpful for us.
We basically can do a filter of if there's a screenshot of that screen in macOS where you add your own certificate authority. If that doesn't exist in the tutorial, it's a good start. But if it does, it's an immediate rejection. It's like, no.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the other problem that we'd run into is just like everybody has to add that certificate on their device to accept it, which is, I don't think that's gonna happen. If you're inviting like 7 people over and you're like, let me see your phone, I have to do something, and then you have to like manually add a certificate to their like Apple like whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it really doesn't work.
No, it does not vibe.
It goes against the whole convenience of the promise or whatever of home games. Like adding those hurdles will always just significantly hurt the goal. You know.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, so for right now, like my Twitter stuff isn't at all limited by it. It's just going to be about slow progress now. Get it there. Because the other thing I need to do now is add like a secrets file, and I have to figure out how to do that because I've never done that before. So I will learn, and then I will do that.
Yeah. Well, you could do. We have a config in there. I don't know if it's in current master, but you can add a config for secrets directory, whatever, and then add it to like git ignore whatever the default is. So you just have a settings.conf or whatever. But yeah, speaking of slow progress, I'm still working on my stuff. I'll probably have a PR up by the end of this week. I've been working on stuff, removing games that no longer need to be there. So I've removed 2 games. I forget what they were. One of them I think was just the home button, and another one I think just displayed your name, which isn't really necessary anymore. So removed those.
Did you get rid of the sprite? Like, there's like a bunch of just like test ones, like the sprite test and stuff like that.
Well, those tests are necessary because they help me test functionality, but other stuff that's already tested elsewhere I'm not removing. But like an image test I added so I can always test image scaling and image moving and all that stuff. I was going to say something else. I've just been working on that stuff. I fixed the layer test, but when you click it, it makes everything super hot and the server works, but like something happens, maybe some infinite loop on the client. I really have no idea. I think it's the browser actually, not the server, that's causing problems, but I have no clue what's going on there. So that'll be one other thing to fix. But yeah, just kind of moving through this list, and of course everything takes forever, but yeah, PR will be out for that sometime soon, and then by next week I'll probably be working on something different finally, because I've been working on this since March, and I'm so tired of this stupid PR that I'm working on.
Is this the same PR that's in draft right now, or are you gonna make a new PR?
Yeah, I'll push to that branch and update the PR with like more context and all that kind of stuff. But it's really just like I stopped adding everything. Like anything that's broken, I'm gonna leave broken. And if the game runs, that's the PR, because I can't like. I can go back into another thing to like fix broken things that I missed or whatever, but I'll be here till next year if I do everything to clean up this whole branch. So yeah, it's exhausting. And it's super not fun. I think it's another thing. It's super not fun. Like just refactoring and like, oh, this was a rectangle and I'm converting it from starting point width height to list of coordinates. So it's so boring, you know? I'm just doing math and then converting everything to 2D arrays. And so it's like I could add a util function here to do this, but I still need to do the manual work of this is a hacky node that had text and an asset associated with it. So now it needs to be 3 nodes. Okay, but then they all have their own values for location and size, and one node turning into 3 is like 10 minutes of manual reading everything and like parsing it out to see what it needs to be. And then if you have maybe 5 functions that do that in your one game, and then there's like 10 games, it's a lot of time. So anyway, it super sucks, but it's going slowly.
Nice. I got you. Okay. Well, nice. I mean, I'm excited for when that gets merged in. Even if it's gonna break stuff, the changes in there are like super, super cool. Especially the changes to the dashboard and stuff like that. Like, all those changes are getting in.
The dashboard is the most impressive thing I think that's in there. The other things, the image test I think is really cool too, of moving an image and scaling the height and width. Anyway, words, height and width. I think that's super cool too because it's very smooth and you can like click and drag and it's just on every screen, right? Like it just like is really nice. So it's there. It's just like slaps is broken, for example, and it's just like fuck. You know what I mean? I had to go back and how does this work? Oh, we never finished this game. What do I do? You know what I mean? Like, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like I keep saying, I just need to cut it at a certain point, and like I can't fix everything. So.
Do you remember when we were talking about how we would verify if a game works or not?
Yeah.
Isn't that what you're doing right now?
Yeah, but it's all manual, and it's like,
I mean, didn't we say it was gonna have to be manual? If like if somebody was gonna like add on their game to the project, right, and we're gonna review it, like you should maybe write up like how you're doing it somewhere, like document like kind of roughly like how you're looking to see if the game works.
Well, I mean, like I literally just clicking. Because it depends. Some games have buttons. Some games have minimum player requirements. Some games don't have any of that. So I made all of these. So there's really no value in like documenting, because it's like I know how they all work. So I think in a real way to test it would be someone whose game I've never seen before and I don't know what it does. Like, imagine you made Square but you never told me about it beforehand. Then I would be like really actually tested by it. But this is like, oh, I know that this game requires 2 people. There's no documentation that says that. There's no anything that says that, but I just know that. You know what I mean? So that would be like a broken game in a real scenario, but because I made it, it's a special stupid thing.
I see.
Yeah. But that's another crazy thing. I have this trouble with it even though I made these games. I'm just like, well, how would I do this, or how should I do whatever? Well, I can make that decision because I wrote this line originally, but what if I need that input from somebody? Hey, your thing is broke, but like, we should never roll out breaking changes like that, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I have no clue what we're doing.
I think it's fine right now to roll out breaking changes, because what's breaking is games, and we haven't like launched yet, so I think it's fine. I think when we do launch, I would say that we should not push things that are going to break games.
We need the versioning stuff to be able to lock in a certain number or a certain value for the version of the engine, and then always run in that version of it or whatever. Kind of like how Windows has like legacy mode or whatever. You can, or compatibility mode. Kind of doing that where you can run any version of previous home game stuff. And I think another thing would be continuous integration, continuous deployment.
CD boy.
Because if I can roll out these changes in an incremental thing and say like, here's my weekend deliverable. I spent Sunday doing work, and in the end of it, I got a version of home games running locally that's kind of broken, but I got this cool thing working. And then if I have all of this stuff going into some automated pipeline where maybe now it's on Pico de Gallo, just right there and running, like the fact that it's constantly feeding into some system will maybe help me just kind of get these changes into the main master branch faster, just because it's actually going somewhere and not just staying in a local branch that night, and then the next weekend I pick up from that local branch, then the next weekend I pick up from that local branch, and this local branch just keeps getting big and big and big and big, and I keep adding and adding, but it's not going anywhere. So there's this kind of like buildup of, is where I'm at right now. I have 3 months of changes. There's like this pressure of getting it over this initial hurdle of getting it in the process. But if I had been putting things into this process the whole time, it'd probably be easier for me to refine what's there instead of just, like the build up. So I also just think for our own, to make us faster and more effective, we should probably have that in the future too, just CI/CD.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, I mean, I guess this coming week, I'll look into the GitHub Actions stuff and I'll see. Because I said I've been saying I'll do that, so I'll go ahead and actually like do that. I'll research it and I'll see like if that's how we want to go, or if maybe there's like a different option we can take.
Yeah, maybe we can run a Jenkins server or something.
Yeah, the problem with Jenkins is that you gotta like have it hosted, don't you?
It's free for open source.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's check GitHub Actions just because we are on GitHub, and then we'll go to Jenkins if that doesn't work out.
Sure.
Especially because we're not doing like really crazy stuff. All we really need to do is I'm in on like the testing side of things.
Oh yeah, I know. We should probably pick something that if we ever wanted to go nuts in the future, we should probably.
I mean, if we ever want to go nuts in the future, I think we would have to go with Jenkins. But I think for right now, we can probably go with the Actions, and then if we need to move to Jenkins, we move to Jenkins.
I mean, I doubt it's magic either way. We're probably gonna have to set up something. I mean, whatever. We could probably look into both, but
yeah.
I guess I don't know why we would choose Actions over Jenkins, or why Jenkins over Actions, or whatever.
Yeah, maybe we should ask Alex. He's in DevOps.
No, I don't. It's Alex still. He'll tell us to play RuneScape or something instead because computers are stupid or whatever he'll say. Is it time for Song of the Week?
I believe it is time for Song of the Week.
Song of the Week. Yeah, my Song of the Week. Well, first let me talk about your Song of the Week last week. It was Acido, ACIDO by Purity Ring.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, Chief. I didn't like this song at all. This was the voice was like not. It just hit me wrong the second it started, and it never went right again. And it just really didn't sound good to my ear. And then the fact that she was like, "What it's like to be lonely like me," or she just kept repeating something like that. But the beat of the song was so like 2014 dubstep type vibe, and that's why I put Sensitive Edgelord, because it's like this weird, the kind of strange kid in high school type dancing song, but also talking about being lonely. And everything about that song I was like, no. And then it ended, and I was pretty happy about that. I did not like that song.
Okay. I figured you wouldn't.
Not to bully you.
It's all good. It's not. You'd only believe me if I was like, "Here's a song I wrote," and then you told me it was complete garbage. These are just songs that I enjoy.
Okay, but even if you had wrote this, I'd be like, "This is terrible," you know.
Yeah, but that's bullying. Then
that's not bullying. That's real.
The part where you said the voice just hit wrong.
It did, dude. Oh my god, it was like grating.
It is kind of hard to get into Purity Ring. They're probably one of the more awkward bands that I listen to.
Yeah, I think it sounded well produced, I guess, or not like well produced isn't something I like. I mean, as in whoever made the music sounded like they did it with intention, and I guess that's like the good thing I can say about it. If I could say a good thing about it, they did it on purpose.
You don't have to say good things about it. You can dislike it. It's okay.
No. I'm not saying I like it at all. I'm not trying to go. I fully dislike it. I'm just saying if I had to find something I did like, is the fact that they had a goal and they executed.
Okay.
You know. Do you want to swap off? Or do you want me to go with my song of the week?
I'll talk about the one that you had.
Sure.
You had "Wash Us in Blood" by Mr. Ye himself.
Yeah, Mr. West.
It was okay. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not like my favorite song of all time. I probably won't put it on my playlist, but I liked it. I mean, it was okay.
What'd you think of the tone, like the energy of it?
It felt weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like he seemed upset, but not mad. Like he seemed upset,
like
but
passionate,
not angry. Yeah, maybe like passionate, but not like how I would have expected this song to sound, given our current climate. I would have expected him to be a little bit more like mad or sad, but he was just like, it felt like he was basically being like, things are happening, and that makes me riled up. And that, I don't know, like that's kind of like the vibe I got from that song. I was like, he was just got riled up. But me, the other problem is like I'm still not 100% at understanding the lyrics of rap. Like the beat I pick up on quickly, the lyrics themselves takes me a while to like actually like fully connect, like not connect, but like to hear all the words. I can't do it on one pass or two passes still.
But did you absorb the Kanye lines?
Yeah, I did absorb the Kanye. He was like, Kanye, yeah, I call him Kanye.
They want to fake Kanye. Yeah, they want to Kanye. Yeah, that's right. I said Kanye. It's like, what are you talking about? But that's kind of why that song is awesome. You know, he still does stupid stuff like that. Yeah. Yes, very, very.
Was he saying that you aren't supposed to want him to be calm?
Yeah, that's kind of part of his persona these days, is that people want him to calm down and he will not.
He seems much more calm than he used to.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Does he not himself not want to be calm then? Like,
well, this whole thing is like you're trying to suppress the genuine energy that I have by telling me to do something that I'm not doing. He's like a whole thing. He's got a whole thing, you know.
I think that this might be the part that confuses me the most, because I know Kanye for being like like just an insane human being, but also very good at rap. But then in this one, he's like, people don't want me to be calm, but it's like, or people want me to be calm, but you don't want. But he himself, it's felt like didn't want to be calm, but also I feel like he's mellowed out. It's like, is he unhappy with how mellow he is, or what?
I think he's still the same dude. He just himself is in maybe a different place, so he's not so all over the place in his behavior, but he still has the same passion. You know?
Maybe. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Because remember there's like that, I think it was like a 60-minute interview or something like that, where they were asking him like, how did you know that you were the best rapper of all time? And he was like, I heard myself. That's how I knew. It's like, what?
He was in a car accident. Maybe that's what he was talking about. When he was.
I don't remember the exact thing, but he was definitely like talking about how great he is as a rap man and just like a person in general. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, it's cool that he recognized it himself, but I think his wording on it made it sound a little bit crazy. I wish I had that pulled up, but I didn't know we were gonna dip into this as much as we are.
That's Kanye's thing. He'll say what he's trying to say, but with all the wrong words. So it's very hard to like. I don't know.
But then when he raps, it feels like he's really good at picking his words.
I don't know.
Sometimes.
I don't know.
Then he talks about Kanye. Yeah, I call him Kanye. It's the fake Ye. I'm the Kanye. I'm like, what is happening? Why are there so many calm and not calm Kanyes going on right now?
Yeah, he's goofy. But whatever. I love Kanye. And I like. Truth be told, I haven't listened to that song much this week. I think maybe once or twice since I made it my song of the week. It's not something that I want to keep going back to. I think it's just an interesting thing that they made, and I like it. But I don't really want to listen to it again. You know what I mean?
Did you watch the music video for it?
I did. It was pretty weird.
I don't understand that music video. Yeah. There's some parts to that music video where I'm like, what is happening? There's the scene where the people are like drifting in a donut and then they hit other people. And I was like, I don't know if this is real footage. Is this something he filmed with actors? What is going on in this scene? What's going on? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you can never tell with that guy. He kind of keeps you on your toes. I watched that video and just I really had no clue what I was watching. So his videos before that were pretty standard. It was just him like flexing on all of his land in Wyoming. You know, he's like, check it out. I own these like big ass tractor things. I'm super rich. So that was.
I remember if it was Song of the Week, but there's the one that ends with his dad saying like,
yeah,
an African. I don't remember his exact words. Like an African American person owns all this, and he's like, yeah, and he's like, damn. Yeah. And that's like the last thing. It's just in like black screen white text, yeah. And that it made me sad and also cracked me up.
Yeah, I know what song you're talking about. I just forget the name. But my real song of the week. So it was an interesting week. I don't know if you're familiar with Pop Smoke. He's a rapper. He was murdered in February, and his posthumous album just came out this past week. And listened to that, and there was some pretty good stuff on there. It's kind of generally an interesting album. Wasn't really like my favorite kind of music, and Pop Smoke isn't like my favorite rapper, but interesting voice, interesting dude, interesting music in a way. Anyway, that was kind of an interesting thing, just kind of a honorable mention, I suppose. Another album that came out was Gucci Man, So Icy Summer, which is like a 24-song compilation album from Gucci Man, who's like a absolute legend in hip-hop. He's been around for a long time, and he's been popular for a long time. And he's got so many songs. Like, I'm pretty sure that dude's Spotify can crash someone's computer, because you just look up Gucci Mane and then scroll, and you'll be scrolling for minutes because new albums will just keep loading. He's got maybe like 40 on Spotify, and that's just only what's on Spotify. His work ethic is insane. So anyway, Gucci Mane has a lot of music, and he put out this thing with it, like him and showcasing a bunch of other artists, and he's got 2 songs on this. He's got 3 songs on this album with Young Thug, and I really love 2 of them. One of them I actually love more than the other, but it is not my song of the week because there's a poop line in it, and it's in there twice. So my song of the week is Gucci Land by Gucci Man, featuring Young Thug.
More about this poop song. Hold on.
So Gucci Man's first big song is called Freaky Girl, from like 2005, 2006, right? And it had this little cadence to the way he said, she's a very freaky... Anyway, it's the whole song. It's like his first big one. So this song called Freakiest in the World is the other song I actually like more than Gucci Land. But there's a line where Young Thug says, it's like I live in a toilet the way that I be shitting. And he says that twice in in the hook. And I'm just like, I don't know. I hate that line. It doesn't even really sound good, you know? And I hate poop references, and I hate whatever. A lot about, anyway, that whole like realm of stuff. Just don't talk about pooping. So the song is amazing, and it's Gucci Man and Young Thug like trading off, and Young Thug doing his whole singing thing with his weird voice, and Gucci Man is trying to go like higher pitch too, and just kind of interesting little energy type stuff, right? Perfect to like wake up to. But then you get the poop line in there, and it just completely throws it off. So as a result, it kind of the song of the week has to be my second place, which is Gucci Land, which is still a great song.
Is Gucci Land also high energy and a great song to wake up to, or would you describe it as like a afternoon jam?
It is. It's got some interesting stuff, you know. Young Thug talks about how much money he spends on his girlfriend's toes and her sandals. With a pretty interesting flow when he comes in on the beat there, so it's pretty good. It's a fun song. You might not like it.
I hate feet, and that ruins so much for me.
But he spent so much on her toes and her sandals to make them look nice, you know.
I don't like the concept of spending money on toes. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, he did that. But yeah, what's your song of the week?
I think I've previously had this artist as a song of the week, but it's Overwhelmed by Royal and the Serpent. Definitely another indie pop lady singer.
My God.
Sorry.
I'm impressed that you're so consistent with it. It's like
I think it's specifically because of how I listen to music, where I don't actually pay much attention to it. It's while I'm doing a bunch of others. Like when I'm working, I'll just have it playing, and I don't really want to know when one song ends, the next song begins. Because like when I get into that flow, I don't want anything to pull me out. So I can't have jarring changes. So a lot of my songs are just like super similar. Indie pop, lady singer. This one's Overwhelmed by Royal and the Serpent. It's pretty good. I think it's better than As I Do from last week, but...
Is that how you say that word?
Yeah, because the whole thing is she says, do you ever feel as lonely as I do? As I do. And so, like, they just...
Got it.
Yeah. Overwhelmed is, I think, relevant to modern day life.
Yeah.
I think you might vibe with it a little bit, actually. I think you'll vibe with Overwhelmed more than you vibed with most of the other songs, except for maybe it's got the same energy as Everything Stays from Adventure Time.
Okay, then that's probably my favorite song that you've recommended so far. So if it's got similar energy, then I'm probably down for it.
Yeah, it's more similar than dissimilar. But yeah, Royal and the Serpent, really odd name, very odd person probably.
Is it a person or a band?
I think it's just a lady, but I'm not actually sure. The thing is that I don't actually look up or get involved in most of the artists I listen to, like in the same way you do.
Yeah.
There's only like 2 that I've ever done that for, so.
Nice. I will check it out probably before your song of the week last week. I just listened to before we started recording. I should probably listen to them earlier to really let them soak in. Really absorb all the content instead of just like hold on before we record. Let me listen to this.
I try to listen to yours twice because sometimes I miss like I'm really not good with rap yet. I'm still working on it. So I'll miss things, like I won't understand what they're talking about, or I won't really like firmly grasp it, basically.
So you're making an effort, and I'm just over here like, no, it sounds dumb within 10 seconds.
Well, like the thing is, like I want to be able to listen to rap and understand it at the same speed that I listen and understand indie pop with a lady singer. But
you mean just the words they're saying, the way they're speaking?
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes they just speak too quickly for me.
Yeah.
I get confused and lost. And other times, I just don't know what they're talking about. There's like lingo in hip hop that is not used anywhere else, and I don't know that lingo off the top of my head. So sometimes they'll be like talking, and I'll be like, oh, what did that word mean? But then I'm like 4 verses later by the time I remember it, and it's like, oh god, oh no, and then I have to listen to it again.
Yeah, I think another thing is that the lingo kind of stacks. You kind of have to follow it, and it's got this history. Well, it's like real slang, right? It all evolves from like real words, but with rap, it's like I got cabbage and relish in my pockets. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that's money because it's green, right? So it's like, okay, well, You're talking about green money. Okay, I get that. But then when they started making the $100 bills with the blue on them, with like that blue ink, it started to become, because money is like cheese. It's cheddar. It's whatever. Right? People say that whatever. So then it became blue cheese, right? So it's like, oh, my pockets are stuffed with blue cheese. So it's like all new hundreds. So it became a flex that you had better, high quality $100 bills than the next guy. So you have blue cheese. But then it's like, oh, I have blue cheese, no ranch. It's like, what does that mean? I have no clue, but Young Thug says that. What does it mean to have ranch? Is that like the regular $100 bills? I have no clue. But you kind of have to follow. You have to follow like money is cheese. I know in history they added the blue to the $100 bill, blue cheese. It's like all these food references, and it's all money. But then it's like get hit with the llama. It's like, is he saying llama or lava? I have no clue. But either way, it's not real. It's not like the way you say what you're trying to say. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's interesting. Yeah. Slang is cool because you kind of feel like you're in a secret club when you understand it. I don't know. I get this weird knowledge. Like I have all this information about pharmaceutical companies because they're name dropped so often in music because people flex the kind of drugs they do. So I'm like, you just get weird tidbits of info because a lot of rappers, specifically people like Young Thug or like Lil Uzi Vert or like whatever, a lot of new rappers, they just know a lot about a lot of different things, and they'll pepper in that stuff in their music. And so you just learn about weird little tidbits if you read about what they're talking about, which is it's all just like a lot of non sequiturs that rhyme, but it's something that they know about. So it's kind of fun to just hear about like what rappers know about.
That's kind of interesting. It may explain why I'm so confused on the first listen.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. Young Thug especially is hard for me to understand, but like you said, sometimes like Rap Genius doesn't have all of Young Thug's lyrics nailed down.
Yeah, sometimes it'll even have just question marks. It's like we don't even know what he's saying there. But like,
does he know what he's saying there?
He does. It's just he for the longest time was super not mysterious, but he just like elusive. Like he wasn't super out there in public, and he didn't really like to comment on things, just because that whole weird mystery of him and the way that he is adds to the appeal. So when people don't know the words, it's kind of like he's not going to correct you. He's just going to like, you know what I mean? He just made it, and you'll figure it out one day or not, whatever. But
dang.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a bunch of that kind of stuff. Like the one I was looking up earlier there's a song. Damn, I forget what it's called, and I forget who even says it. I want to say it's G Herbo, the rapper. Anyway, the line is, the song is called Off White V-Lone. Anyway, the line is, "Walk hard, give me the runs. Don't none of my hoes wear Uggs." And it's like it's like exactly what we're talking about. It's two non sequiturs, right? They rhyme. Walk hard, give me the runs. Don't none of my hoes wear Uggs. And he's just saying this because Walkhart is a company that makes they make cough syrup, and a lot of rappers drink cough syrup recreationally, and it's also known that when you drink this particular stuff a lot, you start to just get like gut problems and like constant permanent diarrhea. It sounds like hell. I don't know, but so he's like flexing about how he abuses cough syrup and it gives him diarrhea, and that none of his girlfriends wear furry boots. But that's the song. You know what I mean?
I understand how you broke that down, and there's no way I would have understood it if you didn't.
Yeah. Come to me. It's also another thing. Synovia's dad does that too. He'll like listen to a song on the radio and be like, "What are they talking about in this song?" Or, like, you're my go-to. I'm like the rap decipher guy for people. Yeah, I don't know. It's fun.
I believe it.
It's a good place to be.
You're deep in the law. You have a minor in it, so you better know what you're doing.
You know what's funny? I do technically on paper have a minor, but I have no proof. Like, no one ever acknowledged that beyond me registering for those classes. He's talking about the fact that I have a minor in hip hop from the University of Arizona, but outside of the counselor lady telling me that was the case when I signed up for those classes, I have no acknowledgement that that's the case.
Is that on your degree?
No. It just says Bachelor of Science. Computer science.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. The point is I took hip-hop classes in college, and they were all useless and stupid. But
you learned a lot, though. Like, you learned about French hip-hop and a bunch of other stuff. Like, things that even, like, your normal day-to-day listening to hip-hop wouldn't cover.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I guess it kind of goes back to my summary of most of the stuff I learned in college is that I could have YouTubed 80% of it. You know?
That's probably true.
Probably more. Because that whole...
But would you have?
No. That's what we talked about before. School is more of like a structure to things that you could do yourself. And they also like prove that you did it at the end, which is the whole value of it. I went to school. And someone else says, that's cool. You know math probably or whatever.
Yeah. Right on.
Speaking of rap, is it time to wrap it up, Yazeed?
It is time to wrap it up.
You're welcome. Saved you.
I didn't know how to go from there.
I can tell from your face. You looked lost.
And confused. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. I think this one actually hit the hour 32 again, which is funny. That's just like our cutoff time. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week, probably.
Definitely. Catch you next week.
Definitely, we'll catch you next week, says Joseph. Catch us on homegames.io and our Twitter.
Yeah.
And everything. Yes.
Everything. You could put the word home games, one word, into google.com, and you'll find something about us on the first page, I think. And if not, let us know. And if you can, also let us know. But also, just look us up. Check us out. Website, Twitter, literally anything that we're on. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.